I forgot my leather trousers.
Oh, well.
Sorry.
For God's sake, Martin.
And I got your message. Anyway, good morning. You're watching Ireland AM. It's Friday, December the 8th, and if you haven't got your decorations up yet, you better get a move on.
Now, coming up on today's show, the funeral of Shane McGowan will take place this afternoon in County Tipperary. We'll have that story and everything else making today's paper shortly.
Everton stun Newcastle while Tottenham's winless run continues. We'll be going through all of Friday's top sporting stories later this hour.
We meet a man who's dated women from all 50 US states but still hasn't found the one. We chat to the hapless romantic on the hunt for his perfect match.
And they're calling him the Banksy of South County Dublin. The masked benefactor of the Irish painting scene, only known as the Art Riddler, will be swooping into studio, and he hasn't even told us his name yet.
Or his mobile. Nothing.
No.
Very spooky. Get ready for a bit of sparkle because the Queen of Eurovision will be joining us. She tagged me on her Instagram story last night and I had a bit of a fangirl moment. Linda Martin will be stopping by to tell us all about her new dog pod, Dog Almighty. And we'd love to celebrate and by seeing your Christmas dog photos. So send in your dog's best Christmas outfits, please, to rndm@virginmedia.ie.
Deric, our weather oracle, is out and about this morning. So where are you today? What's on today's agenda, Deric?
Yes, good morning, Martin. We're live here in Crumlin in Dublin 12. Now, the good news is that it's the weekend. The bad news, unfortunately, is that we have plenty of wet and windy weather to take us right across the next couple of days. In fact, some very heavy rain out there today with strong and gusty, locally gale force winds, especially for Atlantic coastal counties. So a bit of a bumpy ride if you're out doing some festive shopping over the weekend. Now, Children's Centre Ireland here in Crumlin is where we're at this morning. For a report, we're off to meet some of the nursing, some of the staff here on the ground. The neonatal unit open just over a year, so we're going to be talking about that and their partnership with Tesco, where all that fundraising money goes, all for a worthy cause. So that's all to come later on this morning. And guys, only 16 sleeps to Santa. Yes! Are you excited?
Yes!
He's a little overexcited, Deric, to put it mildly. Just a tad. Right, we'll talk to you again later on in the show, Deric. Now let's check on your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times. It leads with record surge in child respiratory cases. The paper reports that record levels of RSV, a common respiratory illness that particularly affects babies, is putting children's hospitals under unprecedented pressure, with almost 1,000 cases notified to authorities last week.
Front page of the Irish Independent goes with insurance price gouging despite collapsing claims. The paper writes that insurers have been accused of taking the public and politicians for a ride after it emerged that premium rates have started to creep up again despite a collapse in claims.
Over to the Irish Examiner, which goes with the headline, Domestic Violence Reports up 8% in 2022. It writes that 54,000 complaints have been made to date in 2023, with the figure coming as Gardaí warn of heightened fears of violence in some households as we approach Christmas.
On to the tabloids now, and the Irish Daily Mail headline reads, Donnelly's management of his brief is exceptionally frustrating. The paper writes that Public Expenditure Minister Paschal Donoghue issued a scathing assessment of Health Minister Stephen Donnelly's management of his department, which he branded as being exceptionally frustrating.
Moving on to the Irish Star now, which opens with, I must be on my way. The paper writes that Ireland will come to a standstill today as fans say one final farewell to Pogue's legend, Shane McGowan.
Front page of the Irish Mirror leads with Legend's last trip to Tip. The paper reports that thousands are set to line the streets of Dublin as Shane McGowan's cortege travels through the city before heading to Nina in County Tipperary for the Star's funeral mass.
The Herald writes, student beaten with vice grips in Lewis attack. The paper reports that a court heard yesterday of a teen gang who surrounded an Indian student as he was repeatedly kicked, punched and beaten over the head during a pile-in attack on a Red Line Lewis tram last December. And
finally, the Irish Sun goes with the headline, McGregor's kick in the arse. The paper states that no TD or senator is prepared to back UFC fighter Conor McGregor's bid to be the next president of Ireland.
Up next, thousands are to gather to say goodbye to Shane McGowan today. We chat through that story and everything else making today's papers. See you in a few minutes. Very welcome back to Ireland AM. The ashes of legendary musician Shane McGowan will be scattered on the River Shannon this weekend. Joining me with that story and everything else this morning are Shauna Bowers, reporter for the Irish Times, and Hugh O'Connell, deputy political editor with the Irish Independent and Sunday Independent. Thank you both so much for joining us this morning. And of course, Hugh, Shane McGowan's funeral is across all of the papers this morning in some way, shape or form.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge event. Johnny Depp and Nick Cave expected to fly in for it. Tipperary, Nina in particular, to become a musical mecca. is what they're calling it, over the next 2 days. So there'll be a procession this morning through Dublin, parts of Dublin, kind of the south inner city, and then down to Nina for the funeral service, I think at about 3:30. And then afterwards, I think there's going to be quite the session in Philly Ryan's pub in Nina. Philly Ryan, I think, is also the undertaker. So it's a real kind of traditional Irish funeral and a traditional Irish send-off, which I think befits his status within the country.
Yeah, and of course, and in the papers and everywhere else, it's almost like Hollywood coming to Tipperary really this weekend. But huge outpouring of love from him over the last week.
Well, he was such a big name in the music industry. It kind of comes as no surprise that there is such a huge outpouring of love. You know, Nick Cave described him as one of the greatest songwriters of our generation, and you know, you can't really argue with that, can you, when you see his lyrics and the impact his music has had.
Yeah, and a lot of people will be descending, of course, as well on Nina today. They're expecting massive crowds.
They are, yes, and they're also expecting crowds in Dublin. It's likely that a traffic management plan will be in place as the procession kind of works its way around the capital. And then in his home county of Tipperary as well, people are accepted to kind of descend and show their support and love for him.
And the President as well is expected to be there today, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah. I mean, look, he's a huge figure, was a huge figure, and I think the fact that the President is there typifies that. I mean, look, we've lost a few musical legends this year, obviously Sinead O'Connor earlier in the year, and Shane MacGowan now, just a few weeks obviously before his 66th birthday. So look, I think the fact that the President is going to be attending is testament to his standing and his legendary status.
I think it's Sinead O'Connor's birthday today as well, which is particularly poignant,
yeah,
I think, when you think about it.
Yeah.
So lost a lot of greats in the country this year, and
of
course our condolences go out once again to Shane's wife and his family and friends. Another story in the headlines this morning. Front page of the Irish Examiner today, a warning about domestic violence arising 8% year on year. Bring us through that.
So there are more than 54,000 reports too on Garda Síochána of domestic violence this year. What we should bear in mind, though, is that's the number of reports. It doesn't necessarily mean there's been an increase in incidences of domestic violence. So it is somewhat of a positive story that people feel more inclined to report those crimes when they do occur. But there was a report kind of evaluating the government, or sorry, I should say, the Gardaí's response to domestic violence. And while the report says a lot of progress has been made, there are still some areas that need improvement, particularly among minority groups. So the Traveller and Roma community, migrants, people with disabilities, people with reading and writing difficulties and things like that. So that's still where progress needs to be made.
And I suppose during COVID, Hugh, there was a lot of concern as well that there was an escalation in domestic violence issues. But the fact that more are reported, we can never know the true number. But do you think there's cause for concern here?
Yeah, well, I mean, as Sean has said, like it's encouraging in one respect that more people are reporting it. And look, domestic violence is terrible in all situations, whether reported or unreported. But it's hard to get a gauge on whether this amounts to an increase in actual incidents or just an increase in reporting of it. I think what we do know is that even though we've spent a lot of the last few weeks talking about crime in the city and violence, and obviously the riots a couple of weeks ago, Gardaí and people who work in this area say the real problem that they face is not an epidemic of crime on the streets, but an epidemic of crime in the home and domestic violence in the home. It's one of the single biggest issues that Gardaí are encountering, and that's, I suppose, the reason why the government have kind of pursued this policy of setting up this new agency to tackle domestic and sexually and gender-based violence with a view to kind of cracking down on it and making sure that the resources are there to help people in these situations. But we do lack things like women's refuges, for example, spaces and stuff like that. I mean, I think, per capita, we have a huge shortage there in that area. So we've a lot of catching up to do. And as the report says today, there are certain... The response can be kind of patchy. Some Gardaí in certain parts of the country better than others, I think, in dealing with this, and some communities don't feel as if they can approach Gardaí about this, particularly people from a Traveller or Roma background. So a lot of work still to do, I think, in this area.
Also in the Independent this morning, insurers are being accused of price gouging. Premiums are going up despite a significant collapse in claims. Bring us through that story.
So insurance and insurance reform has been a story for many years now, both motor insurance and public liability insurance. Some businesses have been shuttered as a result of just unobtainable premiums. You know, the cost is too high; they can't afford to pay it. And insurers have always said that if the costs and claims are reduced, then so too will premiums. However, the figures today show that there's actually been a slight increase, which is hugely disappointing for the Alliance of Insurance Reform, the Consumers Association of Ireland, and ISME, the Small and Medium Business Association, who say that further action needs to be delivered on the parts of the insurers. They want further deductions in the cost of premiums.
And a lot of businesses really are hugely disadvantaged by the rise in these premiums, and as we said, they've had to close.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, as Sean said, it's been a big issue over the last few years, and there's been a lot of work, I think, to try and get premiums down. But what we're finding, I think, now with the evidence today is that even though payouts and compensation claims are going down, there isn't a commensurate fall in premiums, and that's a big problem for businesses, obviously, because they feel that they're being gouged. They feel that like their insurance costs are kind of making them question whether they're a viable business in the first place. So it's a huge issue. You know, the government has tried to do a lot of work in this area, but it doesn't seem to have had the effect that they had hoped, despite the fall in the number of claims.
And are the insurance companies saying anything about this?
Well, they're denying the allocation of price gouging, and they're not.
Figures are figures, numbers are numbers.
Figures are figures. Yeah, I mean, I think that they would argue otherwise. That they think that that they're not gouging in this area, that their own costs are going up, and that they can justify these claims, or justify these premiums, I should say. But obviously, it's something that businesses and others would disagree with.
Okay, thank you both so much for joining us on the show this morning. Sport is next, and Tottenham's winless run continues. We're back in just 3.
Back. Mixed martial arts continues to grow hugely, both internationally and in Ireland. And tonight sees a new venture hit our screens as the Professional Fighters League makes its debut on Virgin Media 2. Here to explain exactly what fight fans can expect is former MMA superstar and head of fighter operations for PFL Europe, Dan Hardy. Good to see you, Dan.
Great to see you.
Welcome to the show. So, for those who don't know, what is the Professional Fighters League?
OK, well, of course, mixed martial arts is a big and growing sport. People will be very familiar with the UFC and with Bellator. They're both very popular events coming over here. The Professional Fighters League, I mean, we've just acquired Bellator, so we've become the second in the market for mixed martial arts. We do things slightly differently. We have a league format, so the fighters have, in the US, they have 2 regular season fights and they earn points, which get them into the playoffs. If they win the playoffs, then they fight for the World Championship. And if they win the World Championship, they get $1 million. On the line tonight, we've got 4 European titles, and all 4 will win $100,000.
OK. So you literally have to earn your place.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's not a meritocracy. It's not being handpicked. It's not somebody steps out, so you bring somebody else in. You've got to work for this over a season.
Absolutely. It's a very, very arduous thing. I mean, it's 3 fights this year if you want to win the European title. It's 4 fights on the global roster if you want to win the world title.
OK, so it's serious business.
Yes, it is.
OK. What can we look forward to tonight? And are there any Irish fighters involved?
We've got loads of Irish fighters. We've got 2 in European title fights. We've got John Mitchell taking on Jakub Kasuba. Very, very tough lightweight fight, that one. And then we've got Franz Malambo fighting out the great SBG gym alongside John Kavanagh. He's taking on Kershaw Kakarov, who's a very, very tough German fighter. Main event is Nate Kelly, Nate the Great Kelly. He's taking on Dimitri Solomus, and you know, I mean, he is a superstar in the making. Like, we've had him over in the US fighting on those shows, and his fan base has been growing over here while he's been there. And you know, we put him on the card, and tickets flew out the door for him. But as I said, we've got 4 European title fights, and then we've got a whole host of showcase bouts. Dylan Took, he's going to be a wild man in there. Lewis McGrillen. It's going to be a really, really electric event tonight. Looking forward to it.
OK. There's a few other fights going on too, just in the lead up to the main event. So just people that we can look out for.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we've actually got 2 Nate Kellys on the card. So we've got young Nathan Kelly starting the card off in an amateur bout. First time we've had an amateur bout on one of the PFL Europe events. But he's he was a young kid coming up through the McGregor era when really Irish MMA was really bouncing. And he's at the very beginning of a very exciting career. He's going to kick the card off. And then we've got 4 or 5 fights after that, European fighters taking on fighters from Brazil and various different places. really high-level mixed martial arts before we get to the main card and into the championship bouts.
Okay. Nate Kelly, I know there's two of them. There's Nathan and there's Nate. What weight is he fighting at?
So the main event, Nathan, he's fighting at featherweight.
Okay.
Yeah, 145 pounds, which means probably most likely next year we're going to have to do a division and see if he can win a European title, because he's certainly heading in that direction.
Okay. For those who know their MMA, you've done your work as well. You've been in the octagon. So do you miss it?
All the time.
Really?
All the time. My wife's a fighter now, so I'm still there in the gym all the time and cornering her in her fights. But there's just nothing like the adrenaline rush of getting in there. I mean, the excitement. The fans are avid and they really, really get behind you. And that's the thing I miss most of all is entertaining the fans, performing for the fans. But, in this position with the PFL, I get to put these fights together now. So I can pick the fights that I know are going to be great and really entertaining. So I'm still involved, but I kind of miss being in there myself, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Well, of course you would. Yeah. Footballers say the same thing. There's nothing beats playing, but you know what? You got the next best thing.
That's true. And no one's punching me in the face anymore.
Which is always a good thing.
That's one thing I was very good at, to be honest, getting punched in the face.
And that's why he's in a suit and he's the other side of the octagon. Listen, good luck with tonight.
Thank you.
And we'll be able to watch it live on Virgin Media.
Absolutely, you will.
Absolutely splendid. Good to meet you.
And you.
Thanks for coming in. Don't forget, you can catch the 2023 PFL European Championship live on Virgin Media 2 from 5:30 this very evening. Now, Shiva's here on this December the 8th, the day when we normally get our shopping sorted, and she's here to save all our Christmases. Shiva.
Look, I always save Christmas, Martin. Thanks for that. With Christmas around the corner, it's time to get festive, whether you're starting to decorate the house or getting a head start on your present buying. And here to share her tips and tricks is stylist and lover of all things Christmas, Judy Gilroy. Good morning, Judy.
Good morning. Good morning.
Now, you're going to help us on buying some gifts.
Do you know what, Shiva? I am a big fan of anything that makes my life easy at Christmas.
Look,
anything that makes my life easy at Christmas. So today I've gone for some amazing gifts. I've got a brilliant gift guide for whoever you're shopping for in your life, but they're easy too.
Okay, super.
Which is the
Make
trick.
my life easy, Judy. Go for it.
Now, so this is the time of year where we're all thinking about what to buy our kids. Teachers, ballet teachers, school teachers, the whole shebang.
Yes.
Exactly. You don't want to break the bank because you've got lots of them to buy for. And I have this amazing selection of Christmas tree decorations from Tipperary. And everything here you can shop at tipperary.ie today. So what I love about these decorations is they're only €15, but they also come in these amazing, beautiful little boxes. So all your wrapping is done for you. You don't even have to wrap them.
It looks so impressive when it comes in a little box. So all these little guys, is it?
So all these little guys. So that's we're seeing the little novelty reindeer there, and then we've got the silver ones, which are the heirloom collection. They're really, really beautiful, and they're just really luxe, really premium. I think they're pieces you'll have forever.
Yes.
And your teachers really get to appreciate them as well. So I think a really nice gift.
Your child then. Lovely.
Exactly, and not just for teacher, for everybody in the audience.
Okay. And then I see this big 3-wick here. Tell us about this. I love a 3-wick.
So I love a 3-wick as well. Girl after my own heart. So this is one of the beautiful Tipperary candles with the beautiful Christmas scent. It's the 3-wick candle. €15. Does it smell good?
Oh, it's so Christmassy. 15 quid.
So Christmassy. I actually have one of these in my house as well, and I think that when you go for that 3-wick candle, it looks so luxurious in your house as well. It looks really, really expensive. Again, comes in that beautiful box, so you don't have to do any wrapping, which is the best part, and 15 quid. So another great one if you're going to a dinner party, or again for teachers, little token gifts.
Now, what's this big box here? That would look very impressive now if you give someone a big box. The bigger the box.
It would indeed, and that's what we're all about. We're at minimum effort, maximum impact.
Yes.
So Tipperary do an amazing range of glassware, and I thought that these presents would be really good gift ideas for him, because I always find it really tricky to buy for my husband, brothers, granddads, the rest.
Yes.
So this is a beautiful glassware and decanter set for the man who loves whiskey.
Yeah,
and I've gone for the whiskey one, but they do have like lovely sets for gin lovers, wine lovers as well. This is €59, so super price point here, but they do like wine glasses, a set of wine glasses for €30. And as you said, they come with a beautiful box. They look really, really impressive. And if you like whiskey, amazing quality as well. It's gonna look beautiful in any home.
Great. Now, these.
So if you want to keep the budget a little bit more purse-friendly, I thought that these socks were a fab idea for a stocking filler, for your brother, for whoever in your life. $7.50 for a set of 3. I actually buy these for my husband all the time.
I think that's a great idea.
And they're cool.
When you're buying for men, it's like they either drink or they golf, but like socks is a
Socks
anyone,
is a universal
you know?
thing. And the cool thing about Funky Feet is they come in a lovely box. You've got the 3 set, but you can pick the different designs as well. So I've gone for like the little jigsaws, the polka dots, the stripes. But you can get like bananas and monkeys and everything on them. So they're really, really funky feet for the man in your life.
Now, is this
is beautiful. This is really beautiful. So this section is all about what to buy for her. So your mom, your granny, your auntie, your sister, your best mate. And I have an amazing selection of gifts here. First up is a handbag. This is by Tipperary, €60. This is the Palermo handbag. And Tipperary actually do an amazing range of handbags, price points from like 30 to 70 euros. So there's something to suit all styles and something to suit all budgets. But this one I have to say is my old favourite.
It's
very designer inspired.
Yes.
It's very classic. I think it's going to suit all different ages and styles, and it's just a really lovely handbag. Now, if you want to go for something a little bit more affordable, or you want to go for something different, I have amazing collections of jewellery here as well today.
Okay, talk me through these jewellery.
So here we have the lovely feather collection, which is new to Tipperary. It comes in like rose gold, silver and gold. So again, whatever suits you. We're seeing those lovely earrings there. They're actually the ones I'm wearing today myself. €20.
Look, if they're good enough for Julie, you know.
€20. I think it's just such a beautiful motif. It's very classic and it's one that everybody can wear, but it's still got a bit of a trend spin on it. So then speaking of trend spins, oh no, we're going to our sterling silver then. Do you know, I think this one here, this sterling silver, which is sterling silver, would be a great one for like the mother-in-law or your granny. You know, that kind of gift where you really want to impress something and get them something special.
Yes.
But again, it doesn't break the bank.
I know, it's super sparkly. I mean, you'd open that and blind someone with the sparkle coming off
And I've just popped in the little matching earrings beside, because everything you see here today, you can get matching pieces as well, so you can build on the collection.
Next year or something.
Exactly.
And then finally we have this gorgeous necklace.
That's your personal favourite.
It was the first thing I saw. Yeah. Talk to me about that,
So
Judy.
this is by Romy Dublin. I love a bit of chunky gold, and they've got a really cool range of chunky pieces. So this is the popcorn necklace. It's €30. Again, you can get it in the necklace, the bracelet, and you can get it in all different kinds of metals. Again, I actually have this one myself. I wear it all the time. I think it's a really good everyday necklace. It comes in a beautiful box, and it's not going to break the bank.
It is beautiful.
Yes.
Another candle here.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, we all have a secret Santa. What do you get them? The beautiful bee candle, I think, is so lovely.
That's a great idea.
We've got brilliant price points here in the bee collection from Tipperary. Our candle here is only €12. I love it. I think it's so shiny and sparkly. This is a gift I would love to receive myself, and they smell amazing. If you want to go up the page a bit on the budget, we also have this cool water bottle from the bee collection. That's €25.
That's great for your sustainable secret Santa, you know.
Exactly. And you know, for the girl who likes, you know, hydrating throughout the day, going to the gym. And then we have the beautiful bee necklace as well. So this is a motif throughout the brand that you can get pretty much anything in, from necklaces to candles to homeware, which we're going to see in a second. And it really is so beautiful, and I think really timeless as well.
Yeah, that's adorable, that little necklace. Okay, what else have we got from the bee collection then, Judy?
So our next one is for the person who has everything. You know, what you buy them. I think, I hate them. I always think a bit of homeware is a great idea, and I've started buying it for people when I'm going to dinner parties instead of flowers, because it lasts longer.
Great.
So, for example, we've got this amazing hat box of mugs, again from Tipperary. This is €48, and it just comes so beautifully packaged. Would look gorgeous in any home. I think this is an amazing gift, and you probably spend the same on flowers.
Yeah, beautiful. I love the way that there's different colours of the mugs as well, you know, so it's not all one set. And then, what's this?
And then this is the new collection by Tipperary. This is the Paul Maloney ceramic collection, the pottery collection. This is just really beautiful. So I've gone for the little teapot today, but just with the bee collection and the Paul Maloney collection, you can get everything from like plates to table mats, and you can build on your whole collection over time. So I think it's a really nice way to start it up at Christmas time. So all of these gifts today are from Tipperary Crystal.
Gorgeous, beautiful.
Yeah,
I love them. Thank you
Sorted
so
for
much,
Christmas.
Judy. Yeah, look, you've made my life easier. You always do, guys. Still to come this morning, we meet the Montana man who's been on 50 dates in 50 US states twice. Plus, we cross over to Deric as he continues to share the festive cheer. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Very welcome back to Ireland AM. Hope you're roasting your chestnuts over an open fire or some such festive activity this morning. More likely you're getting ready for work, but don't worry, we'll get some time off soon, I promise.
Still to come this morning, we'll be chatting to the fella whose quest for love took him to 50 dates across all 50 states of America. Twice. You know, to be sure.
Can't think of anything worse.
We'll be getting his story in just a few minutes.
We'll be joined by Ireland's caped donator, the anonymous art knight, who's been given tens of thousands of euros to young aspiring artists, all while wearing a mask to protect his secret identity.
The Queen of Eurovision, Linda Martin, will be stopping by to tell us all about her new dog pod, Dog Almighty. And to celebrate, we'd love to see your Christmas dog photos. So send in your dog's best Christmas outfit to IrelandAM at virginmedia.ie, and we'll do our best to show them a little later on.
OK, Deric has been out and about this morning. Deric, we've heard of wind and rain, but I'd say it's cold as well, Deric.
Yes, Martin, we're welcome down here to Children's Health Ireland at Crumlin here this morning. Not too bad a start, but quite wet out there this morning, but it is a virtual winter wonderland here. Behind us, the man responsible for it all is Mr. Robinson. Good morning to you, John.
Morning, Deric, how are you?
Yeah, John, tell us about the big effort that's gone in here.
No, it's absolutely fantastic. It looks really, really well. Kids absolutely love it, but we couldn't do it without the fantastic maintenance team that we have here on site. Absolutely brilliant. Took them about a week to do it. Really, really hard work. Most of them were in the rain, but we got it done in the end, and it looks really, really
And it
fantastic.
puts a big smile, I can imagine, on
Oh
the
my
kids'
God,
faces.
the amount of kids that come along, look out to the windows, they all have a look, love it. They're all ready for Santa to come, so it's fantastic.
All right, good man, John. We'll be chatting to some of the neonatal nurses here a little bit later on this morning. But for now, back to studio. I love your jumper, by the way, your Christmas jumper,
it's
John.
really, really good. My wife got out yesterday, so...
Thumbs up all round. Back to studio.
Oh, thanks for that, Deric.
Now let's check on your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times. It leads with record surge in child respiratory cases. The paper reports that record levels of RSV, a common respiratory illness that particularly affects babies, is putting children's hospitals under unprecedented pressure, with almost 1,000 cases notified to authorities last week.
The front page of the Irish Independent goes with insurance price gouging despite collapsing claims. The paper writes that insurers have been accused of taking the public and politicians for a ride after it emerged that premium rates have started to creep up again despite a collapse in claims.
Over to the Irish Examiner, which goes with the headline, Domestic Violence Reports up 8% on 2022. It writes that 54,000 complaints have been made to date in 2023, with the figure coming as Gardaí warn of heightened fears of violence in some households as we approach Christmas.
On to the tabloids now. The Irish Daily Mail's headline reads, Donnelly's management of his brief is exceptionally frustrating. The paper writes the Public Expenditure Minister Paschal Donohoe issued a scathing assessment of Health Minister Stephen Donnelly's management of his department, which he branded as being exceptionally frustrating.
Moving on to the Irish Star now, which opens with, I must be on my way. The paper writes that Ireland will come to a standstill today as fans say one final farewell to Pogue's legend, Shane MacGowan.
The front page of the Irish Mirror also leads with Legend's last trip to Tip. The paper reports that thousands are set to line the streets of Dublin as Shane MacGowan's cortege travels through the city before heading to Nina, County Tipperary for the Star's funeral mass.
The Herald writes, student beaten with vice grips in Lewis attack. The paper reports that a court heard yesterday of a teen gang who surrounded an Indian student as he was repeatedly kicked, punched and beaten over the head during a pylon attack on a Red Line Lewis tram last December.
And finally, the Irish Sun goes with the headline, McGregor's kick in the arse. The paper states that no TD or senator is prepared to back UFC fighter Conor McGregor's bid to be the next president of Ireland.
Now, it's all about the Christmas shopping at this time of year. I'm not sure how organised the two of you are, but wait for this. Apparently, Christmas shopping is set to peak on the 23rd of December, but that is no fault of the women out there because women are way more organised than men. Men leave everything to the last minute, the vast majority, according to a new survey there by AIB. But would you believe, and this will come as no shock to anybody, women spend way more on groceries than men, but men spend twice as much on the pub than women do. So doesn't that say a lot about who does all the work now leading up to Christmas?
It does a bit.
Of course,
I do the shopping in my house.
well, you're the exception rather than the rule there, Martin.
As I'm going around because my wife leads a very busy life.
I'm just
with her
looking at the
photography business.
statistics,
I'm
Martin.
bumping into lots of men.
I'm
who are
just
pushing
looking.
the trolleys.
I'm just looking at the statistics here, Martin.
OK.
Not everyone is
Just
as
saying.
good as you. Just saying.
Yeah, there are exceptions to every rule.
Now, if you also look at who spends the least and the most, if you're from Wicklow, you spend most on Christmas, and if you're from Donegal, you're bottom of the class, you spend the least amount of money on Donegal on credit cards. Donegal, Leitrim, I think, as well, and Monaghan aren't. They're not very flahoolic.
You see, Cavan's getting a bad rep.
Yeah, so is Kerry.
Spending more money than Donegal, Monaghan and Leitrim.
5.2 million is spent on the 23rd if we're going about last year, and but men tend to buy their presents on the 24th. Of December.
I know loads of guys.
Which leads me to the question, what's the worst Christmas present you ever got, lads? Because I got a flashback, I was looking at my notes last night, I got a flashback to I thought my worst present was a V pillow without a pillowcase that many years ago I got as a Chris Grindle present. But I was thinking, and I blacked this one out, years ago I was going out with this fella and I was giving out, there was no picture of me in the house. So he went off at lastminute.com and got an A4, no, not part of those big, huge, massive posters printed up.
Yeah.
A3 of the two of us in a picture, but this is how much effort. He looked gorgeous in it. My eyes were closed in the photograph, and that was my Christmas present. Doesn't that say a lot? Wasn't even framed, it was rolled up in a ball, it never even made the wall, so that's lovely. What was yours? Worst?
I actually, nasal hair clippers.
Who got you that?
It certainly wasn't my wife, because Jenny would know better than to get me something like that. But nasal hair
Did you use it ever?
Years later, I thought, where is that thing?
Yeah, see, it wasn't a bad present after all, was it?
As you get older, the hair grows out your ears and your nose and falls anywhere else.
Yeah, it doesn't come out anywhere else other than your ears and your nose. Yeah. That's how you know.
What's your worst present?
Do you know what? No presents that I've received have been bad, but once I gifted my friend something that he was like, Shiva, I bought this already when we were shopping together. I'm an awful gifter.
Oh, re-gifting?
No. But like, he had bought the exact same thing in front of me before. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. Nasal hair.
Let us know what yours is, details on screen.
Oh, please let us know. Up next, we meet the Montana man who's done everything to find love, including going on 50 dates in all 50 US states. That's coming up after the break, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Now, in the age of Tinder, Bumble, Hinge and the juggler over there in the kitchen and whatever other apps take your fancy, it's said that dating couldn't be easier.
TikTok star Matt Wernick clearly saw that as a challenge, however, as he embarks to travel America, going on one date in each US state in pursuit of true love, or maybe just a bit of crack and content.
Just a bit of laugh.
That's it. Here's a quick look at just one of his dates way over in Michigan.
Okay, well, I have a tradition in the car.
Okay.
Each of my dates gets the privilege of having honks. Yes! And so I gotta get your taste in music. Okay. This sets the tone for everything.
I did make a playlist for this.
You did?
You
are like the most prepared date I've ever had. Oh my God.
I got a 50 dates playlist.
Wow, I feel like you did. This is amazing. All right,
you have to come prepared. You go big or go home.
100%. So I gotta see what you're playing before we take off.
Okay. You're way too beautiful, girl.
Oh, great call.
Oh, we need to hear the rest of that song.
I was dancing.
Okay. Did she impress you, Matt?
Oh, she absolutely impressed me. She had a full playlist, all kinds of great songs. We were singing the whole car ride. It was amazing.
And Matt, so take us back to the start. Where did you get the idea for this?
Yeah, so back in 2020, when COVID first hit and the world kind of shut down and nobody really knew what to do, I hopped on the dating app Tinder, and it said that you could place your location anywhere in the U.S. for free. So I started getting matches with girls all across the U.S., but since everything was closed and I couldn't go on a date with these girls, I decided to go on a virtual date with all of them. So I went on a virtual date with a girl in every state as a way to, put out some positive content and kind of make it a pandemic project during the time. Because, in the news at the time, there was a lot of negative things with COVID rates and the death rates and all that stuff. And so I was trying to create something that would be a little bit more fun and uplifting and heartwarming and positive. And so that's where all the inspiration came from. And once I went on all the virtual dates, then I decided to hit the road and go visit them all in person for in-person dates.
Okay. So you actually did sit face to face with them on the first outing after being virtual with them.
I did, yes, sir.
It certainly is, it seemed to have worked. Were you much of a dater prior to doing this?
Absolutely not. I just kind of took the bull by the horns and just went all in. I probably, before I started 50 Dates, 50 States, I probably went on like a total of like maybe 3 or 4 dates ever, you know, just like between high school and college and whatever else. You know, I didn't really go on many dates. So this was kind of a new experience to me, but I'm a big people person. So I wasn't really nervous or anything like that. And yeah, it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear that because you know what you have a lot of, Matt? You seem like you have a lot of riz now from the videos and stuff that we've seen. So I'm surprised to hear that it took this campaign to get you 50 dates. But here, it must be all a blur. Do you remember the first date you went on as part of this?
I do. It was, her name was Emily, and she was from Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming. And me and her, we went ice skating. We went to a trampoline park. I actually got to meet her whole family, and we played some board games, and then we went and had lunch with her family as well. And so it was a lot of fun. We went and played laser tag too. So a lot of eventful things we did for this first date in Wyoming. And I did a lot of eventful things with all my dates. And I try to remember all my dates' names. I have a pretty good memory on that.
Okay, tell the truth. Did you call one of them by the wrong name?
No, I never
At
did,
all?
but I did a couple times. I referred to them as the wrong state. I'd be like, "Oh, my date from North Dakota. Oh, I mean North Carolina," you know, or something like that. I would sometimes do,
Okay.
but never by the wrong name.
Okay, but how were they? You know, I know it was only a date, knowing that you know the following day you were going on a date with somebody else. Were they all okay with that?
Yeah, that's all what they, you know, were part of and knew what they kind of signed up for. And, you know, it was very interesting, like how my mindset developed around this, because even if I had a really good time with one of my dates, I knew, like you said, the next day I'd be heading to a new state to go on a date with someone else. And, you know, so then like 2 weeks go by and I've gone on 10 more dates. I'm not even thinking about the girl that I thought I had a really good time with, you know? And so it's a very weird mindset that you get into because you just go on so many dates and you're living in the moment and you want to be present. And so it's a very interesting dynamic, you could say. But a couple gals I went on dates with, they caught me in the feelings a little bit. They were great, and we connected really well.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Like,
We're looking at you in an airplane, in 2-seater.
yes.
That takes a lot of trust, Matt.
Yeah, on the first date.
I'm an uneasy flyer, and I put my trust in her. That was my Minnesota date, Kirsten. And yeah, she took me up flying in an airplane, and she was swerving in the air and stuff. Oh, I was about to have a heart attack up there.
She was only turning it to one side so that you'd lean across to hug her.
Hey, there you go. That's a move.
But Matt, look, I know you did stuff like you went flying, you said trampolining and ice skating. I feel like your dates got more and more elaborate as the time went on. Did you come up with all of the ideas for the activities, or was it their ideas?
It was kind of a tag team effort, but I really tried to have them plan out what we did because they are from those certain areas and they know the fun things to do versus what I would know in those areas. But you know, some of these things we did were really fun, extravagant, like zip lining, hot air ballooning, airplane rides, parasailing. And so it was a little tag team effort just between their ideas and then me kind of putting it together in an itinerary and for content. And, you know, I wanted to make sure I didn't break the pocketbook. If they wanted to go eat at a super, super expensive restaurant, I didn't want to be broke after one of my dates, you know?
Right. So you were funding this yourself, or did you get a little help along the way? Because you were doing this on social media for us all to watch.
Yeah, so I paid for this in a handful of different ways. Sponsorships, I had some awesome sponsors, brand deals through social media, ad revenue, things like that. And so that's everything that was that I was able to do to accumulate the funds and go on all these dates and travel. And, you know, because it's constantly spending money. Yeah. You're checking in and out of hotels, you're paying for gas since we're driving everywhere, you're paying for the dates. And so, you know, it's a lot of expenses, but I'm glad I had a good team with me and we could make it work.
Okay.
You could call him, I don't know, a romantic businessman or a business-minded romantic. He's
I
one
wouldn't
of
be
them
buying
anyway.
the car off him when he's finished driving across 50
No, God,
states.
that mileage.
That's a lot of mileage.
And come here, Matt, might there be a season 3 on the way?
You know, there's some things in the works with that. Yeah, I absolutely there's going to be a season 3, and so just some things I'm working on behind the scenes, and I'm excited to share more with my followers and audience and my channel and everything. And there's a lot of exciting things in store.
Can I just ask you, what was scarier, being in the 2-seater plane or being in the hot air balloon?
That's a phenomenal question. I would probably say the hot air balloon, just because you're just in a little basket in the sky, and it's kind of windy, and that was pretty terrifying. My heart was beating 100 miles an hour. But it was an amazing experience. Like, it was just so cool. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. It was one of my favorite things I did on stage.
If I was you in that 2-seater plane, I'd have been saying, is everything all right at home? You're in good form.
Well, do you know what's scarier to me than a 2-seater plane or a hot air balloon is being able to come up with small talk with 50 different people. That's scary. That's impressive. Any advice, any dating advice, Matt, to impart us with?
I say be yourself, 100%, always be yourself. And also don't set expectations. A lot of people try to go into a date with someone and they're like, oh, this is going to be the one. And then it's not who they think they would be. And then, if you set expectations, that often leads to disappointment. So I say just go in free-minded, go with the flow, be yourself, just relax and have a good time. But having small talk was interesting. I feel like I repeated myself 50 times. You need
to start taking this around the world.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what he.
Yeah. Maybe I'll come to Ireland.
Woo! Hopefully.
With 32 counties, and there won't be as much mileage on your car. We're a lot smaller than America.
All right,
so
I like
much,
it. You guys got a wingman for me, though.
Yeah, we got you covered. Thank you so much for coming on and chatting to us, Matt. For more from Matt, you can check out his TikTok at 50 Dates, 50 States.
Okay, up next, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's the Art Riddler. Yes, does he wear his underpants over his trousers? We're going to find out in just a few minutes. Ireland's masked artisan joins us after the break, but don't expect him to reveal his secret identity. We don't know his name. We'll see in a few minutes.
Now, riddle me this. What's black and blue and red all over? Well, it might be one of the hundreds of paintings from aspiring young artists who are finally getting the boost they need, courtesy of an anonymous masked financier known only as the Art Riddler.
Seems like we should go with the Art Riddler.
Dun, dun, dun.
The masked man of the Irish painting scene joins us now, but he still won't tell us his name. Art Riddler, welcome to Ireland AM.
Thank you for having me.
OK, where did this idea come from and why?
Yeah, the idea came sort of around February, March last year. And I suppose it was kind of coming out of COVID. And I found myself in town kind of walking around a bit. And I started going into some of the galleries. And there was one particular gallery I went into that kind of serviced emerging Irish artists. And I'd go to some of the openings of the events. And I felt there wasn't the throughput of people to purchase the art. So how could the artist make a living and such talent there? So I decided to put together my own sort of exhibition and effectively not take any commission for it. So select the art, put on an exhibition and award a prize for one winner.
Yeah, so you're like a Borgia or a De Medici of modern day Dublin, really, to be a patron of the arts. But did you have much knowledge of the whole art scene before COVID, before any of this new interest of yours?
No, I didn't. I had a couple of pieces of art. One of my friends is an artist, and I had a couple of his pieces. But no, I had a very surface level idea of art. I liked it, but didn't know much about it.
So basically, you were bored in COVID. Museums were, exhibitions were the few things that were open, so you went along and developed this and saw new talent you hadn't seen before.
Yeah, and it just became very interesting. The more I looked at it, the more interesting it became, and I said, could I help?
OK, so that's one thing, and to do what you're doing is fantastic. But where did this persona come from, and why the persona?
Well, I didn't think it out that well, to be perfectly honest, because I never envisaged it would sort of take off, and I certainly didn't envisage sitting here talking to you in a mask. So it's, I suppose, like a lot of people, I'm not too into the social media thing and having my face out there. And because I didn't actually have any social media accounts, believe it or not, before this. So coming from one extreme of never been on social media to living on it through Instagram to promote it. So I just felt more comfortable. I thought it might bring a bit more interest to it. So I put on the mask.
Okay.
You must be roasting and sweating in that thing now because it doesn't look the most comfortable.
No, it's not the most comfortable.
Now, do you keep it on for all the exhibitions and everything else as well?
Yeah, I've had it on. So I've run 2 exhibitions and I've been masked in full.
So what is the ultimate aim of what you do? I mean, it's for anyone out there who's not familiar, tell us what the end game is here.
The end game, well, initially I thought I'd run 1 exhibition, but then it kind of took off. So I ran my 2nd exhibition there just October gone, and I'm having a 3rd exhibition roughly next October. And so it's to promote Irish artists, emerging artists.
Emerging ones, so ones that not the ones we'd all know and see on a daily basis. It's specifically for new talent. How do you find them? Yeah,
it's I put together my online profile, and to try and attract the interest to it, I put quite a high sort of prize fund on it. So I started kind of following a lot of the artists who I'd see who were kind of younger, just out of some of the art colleges. And I slowly started building sort of relationships through Instagram with them. And it kind of caught on then. And there's an application form online. I rented out Studio 10 on Wicklow Street. And it just sort of built.
So do they know, when you make first contact with them, you're contacting them as the Art Riddler?
Yeah. So, like, people thought it was a scam at the start, which is very understandable.
I'm not surprised. I mean, if your face popped up in my DMs, I'd be terrified.
I know, but you'll befriend me after this, so it's fine.
Has nobody tried to unmask you? Because, you know, there's an exhibition going on. So there might be a few drinks at it. So somebody, for devilment, might think, get the mask off the Art Riddler.
Yeah, well, the first one, I wasn't around any of the crowd who were at the exhibition. I actually appeared on the walkway where Brown Thomas Car Park connects with Brown Thomas shop. So I appeared on that because the exhibition space is directly opposite that. So I was just waving at everyone, and I rang the winner from there. So the reason I have the balaclava is exactly as you just said. As I felt at the 2nd exhibition, someone might come up and try and pull it off me because I was present at that one.
Yeah.
So it's my 2nd line of defence.
Now,
all right.
But do you not find that even though you wanted to be anonymous, that by actually having this persona, it has inspired way more interest in who you actually are, a bit like Banksy. Everyone's fascinated to see who's behind the mask. Did it defeat the purpose a little bit?
No, not really. It actually, it sort of serves both purposes. So one is to keep my anonymity, and the second is to kind of boost the project or the cause. So by wearing the mask, that works out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of double-sided.
Yeah.
Okay. When it comes to these young artists, you know, and you have this exhibition for them, are there rules around it?
There's simple enough rules. They have to have painted the piece. Like this year's exhibition, they had to paint their piece this year, so it couldn't be an old piece. And apart from that, I don't really have any sort of stipulations.
Like if they've had an exhibition already, does that rule them out, or is the door still open to them?
The door's still open to them, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. And how was this funded?
I fund it.
All out of your own pocket?
Yeah.
What's the prize money here, or what
the prize money,
get?
the first prize was 10,000 both years. So I did 2022 and 2023.
Okay.
And
that allows a young artist.
Yeah, it does. It gives them a significant kind of breathing space, because a big issue for sort of emerging artists is finding a space to actually be able to paint. Yeah. A lot of studios have closed down, etc. So yeah, it's a good prize.
Okay. If you have entered already, can you enter again?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can come back and defend your title.
You can effectively, yeah. The reality is, you know, the person who won the first one wasn't going to win the second one, but the lady who won the first one was in the 2nd exhibition as well. No, it's just I just picked the art that I think people will like.
So it's just whatever you like, and whatever you like the best is what wins this.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
I just try and keep it simple. Yeah. And the hardest thing is actually when I'm going through all the applications, because this year I got around 700, and I had room for about 40, I think it's 48 pieces. So it's boiling it down is very difficult. So you try and pick a variety of art for everyone who's going to attend the exhibition rather than just what you like.
Yeah. So what's next for the Art Riddler then?
Well, I've committed to doing another exhibition next year, and I'll see after that. To be perfectly honest, I thought I'd only be doing the one. I didn't think it would catch on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just in case you need a day off.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Or a night off.
I'm not putting that on. Oh, no, there's two of them.
Yeah, I brought two.
Oh, for God's sake.
You didn't think you'd be doing this?
You'll never know.
A lot of people would say this is an improvement on me. Anyway.
I'm already shouting it from my house.
How do you... Oh, my God, this is terrible.
Yeah.
You poor thing.
Yeah.
You wear this all the time. How's the longest you've ever had to have it on for?
The last exhibition, so about 2 hours.
Oh, that's enough for me. Ooh.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually kind of enjoying this.
Martin, I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
I don't even want to know.
I need the rest of the suit.
Can you read that through the mask? Can you?
Great to meet you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, lovely to meet you guys.
And giving such a helping hand to so many brilliant young artists that normally wouldn't get the opportunity to do what they do. And when you do need a night off, I've got the mask. It's all right.
Don't ask me.
All right. For more from the Art Riddler, check out his account at Art Riddler on Instagram.
Now, still to come, we cross over to Deric as he comes live from Crumlin for a very special cause. We're back in just a few minutes.
Full to Roshka, Ireland AM. Now, all morning, Deric has been crossing live from Children's Health Ireland in Crumlin for a very special cause.
How's it going, Deric?
Yes, good morning, Martin and Shiva Gurvmila. It's a virtual winter wonderland down here at Children's Health Ireland. We're broadcasting live from Crumlin here in Dublin 12, right across the morning. We're joined now by two of the neonatal nurses here. We've got Liz Sweeney and Anna Lockley. Frozen girls.
Frozen.
Sorry about that. As well as all the Kelly family here. We have got John and Maria all the way from Cork, up Limerick. We'll chat to you in a few moments' time. But first up, we're going to say hello to Liz. And Liz, tell us about some of the work you do here in the neonatal unit.
So yeah, I've been here in Crumlin quite a number of years now.
How many years?
Too many to disclose. But yeah, so I work on the neonatal unit. We actually just opened the unit over a year ago. So we have 18 cots and 6 of those cots are high dependency beds.
And how's that been going for you?
It's been crazy but wonderful. It's a designated space for these babies. We have some of the sickest and smallest babies come to us from all over the country. So we take babies from about 34 weeks gestation, so there are a lot of premature babies, and from 1.5 kgs up, so it's like a little over 3 pounds. So these are small, very vulnerable, very sick babies. So it's been an amazing journey this last year. It's been crazy and amazing at the same time.
You've also got a high dependency unit here as well.
Yeah, so we have a 6-bedded high dependency unit. So and thanks to Tesco's, we have. It's a specialised unit now. We've a lot of specialist equipment. So.
And like we're talking, is it 9 million? Over 9 million has been donated by Tesco since 2014.
Yeah.
I mean, a huge amount of money, but all that money is so well spent here in the hospital.
Absolutely. So some of the equipment that we've got donated, thanks to Tesco's, we have. Patient monitors. We've brand new patient monitors gone into our 6 neonatal bed spaces. We've got central monitoring, we've got breastfeeding pumps, we've got infusion pumps. Just the list goes on, but it's made such a difference to, like, we can deliver world-class care now to these babies. And it's even things like the breastfeeding pumps. Mums can pump by the bedside. You know, we were always scrambling for breast pumps, and now we have a breast pump for any mum that wants them. They can pump at the bedside, and that just makes such a difference.
A huge
for our
difference.
Parents.
Anna, you're over in Temple Street as well. I mean, you're so busy at this time of year, aren't you?
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. But yeah, we have a neonatal unit over in Temple Street that was opened in 2009 and funded by Tesco as well. So it's brilliant. We have a 13-bedded ward on St Michael's B, and that has a 6-bedded HDU as well. So we've high dependency beds for for, you know, really sick babies and babies from around the country needing specialist surgery or with complications from being born prematurely. So yeah, it's a wonderful team there, but to have the facility to be able to deliver the care is so important, you know. And then the 7 ward beds, they actually have, you know, a bed space for the parent to stay with the child, because as Liz was saying,
that's so important, isn't it? That the parents can stay at such a delicate and precious time.
Yeah,
you know?
like, you know, some of these babies are just born and rushed over for surgery and things like that, so they're brand new babies, you know, so the mums don't want to be separated from them, you know, if at all possible, so it's amazing.
Well, one such family who's been using the unit for the last 2 years, I believe, the Kelly family. Good morning to you, John and Maria.
Good morning, how are you?
Maria, you've been up and down now the road from Cork for the last 2 years?
Yeah, over 2 years with Luke. Luke has bowel problems, so up and down the road like yo-yos.
And how has the journey been for you?
It's been a hard journey, but staff up here make it more easier for us, and they look after Luke well, which is the main thing, and we're all looked after up here.
And Johnny, you also have another addition to the family. Liam's at home.
Yes, hi Liam.
Yeah, and Mum and Dad play a big role as well in helping you out.
Yeah, it's tough on him too, because he has to live with this as well, like, you know. It's a long way from home, like, you know. But like the staff get us all through it, you know.
And that's it. You were saying to me, Maria, without the staff, I suppose, you know, they make the journey that little bit easier for you.
They do make us stronger. Like, we'll have bad days, and they get us through it when Luke is very unwell. When Luke goes to theatre, they're always there for us, and they're there for Luke, which is the main thing.
And you stay up here as well in the family unit.
Yeah, we stay in the parents' accommodation, which is on the 2nd floor, and it's clean and basic for us, and it's brilliant.
It's great. And of course, you want to say a big shout out to everyone in.
Oh, I say hello to Liam. Hi, Liam. And a big shout out to our ladies' ward. How are you?
And looking after you as well.
Surgeons, his surgical team.
Okay, and all the family looking forward to Christmas as well, John.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be home.
Hopefully be home and let her gone to Santa.
Oh yeah, let her gone off.
Now, Liz, I see you're holding in your hand here little Jerry the giraffe. Isn't he gorgeous?
Yes.
Tell us about Jerry.
He's keeping me warm here. He's very, very cute. So yes, so Jerry is going on sale in Tesco's nationwide, and all the proceeds are going to CHI. So please go out and buy a Jerry.
Yeah, now it's
very cute.
It's a fiver, right? It's a fiver. It's a fiver, and all the money raised in Tesco. I believe 70% of them are already gone. There's loads of Jerrys all around the country, but every few bob that is raised goes to this amazing cause, doesn't it, Anna?
Yeah, it's fab. No, it's so important. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Okay, well there you have it. Jerry's in stores nationwide. Jerry the giraffe. I'm going to get one of these as well. Thank you so much, Liz and Anna, and also to the Kelly family all the way from Cork. Wish you a very happy Christmas and love to all the family. Back to you in studio. That's lovely. Thank you so much.
The very best of luck to them this Christmas.
I like Jerry.
I love Jerry.
Jerry looks cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hope lots of people are waking up to find Jerry under the tree on Christmas morning. Still to come this morning. Eurovision legend Linda Martin will be stopping by. Plus, we'll be brave. Well, we won't be braving the cold weather because we've seen how rainy it is outside. But we'll be doing some winter gardening.
Yes, indoor winter gardening. And we learn how to create a hearty breakfast perfect for all the family on Christmas Day. We're back in just a few minutes.
Yes, welcome to the last hour of Ireland AM. We're coming into the home stretch. See what I did there?
God.
Sorry about that.
God help me, I have a whole weekend of this.
Decks are up and letters to Santa have been sorted, I'm sure, by now.
Oh, still to come this hour. She's the national treasure who stole our hearts when she sang her way to Eurovision glory 3 decades ago. Linda Martin joins us in just a few minutes. And to celebrate the launch of her new podcast of the canine type, we'd love to see your Christmas dog photos. So send in your dog's best Christmas outfit to irelandam@virginmedia.ie. In fairness, you should be allowed to be Christmassy now. I've got the sparkles on.
It's the 8th of December. You're all sparkly.
Yeah. I'll bring you in something nice on Sunday to sanctify you up.
All right.
There you go.
You're sanctified already. Okay, of a Sunday too. Okay, Shiva, what else have we got coming up this hour?
Don't be so sanctimonious over there. Right, so we were going to embrace the winter chill this morning, but it's currently far too blustery outside, so I'm enjoying the warmer indoors with gardener Niall McCauley to learn how to create the perfect winter planter that will help wildlife flourish over the winter months ahead. What are you showing us today, Niall?
We've brought the outdoors indoors, so we're going to make really nice Christmas-themed containers that are going to look epic, but they're going to be good for wildlife as well. Pollinators, birds, hitting every base.
So looks gorgeous and helps the environment.
Exactly, all the way through the winter.
We love to hear it, don't we?
Thank you so much, Shiva. Now, Daniel Lambert is in the kitchen today. He's in charge of a Christmas skillet.
We're making a lovely Christmas breakfast skillet.
Okay.
Everyone can kind of, you know, come to the table and take it as they wish, you know.
Or just take a fork to the pan.
Or just take a fork to the pan. That's pretty much the idea of it.
£1 wonder, is it?
It's a £1. It's a £1 wonder. That's it.
Like the sound of it. I hope there's enough for you.
What are you suggesting?
That's mine.
I thought you were saying,
this is
that enough for you? No, that's fine. Now let's check on your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times. It leads with record surge in child respiratory cases. The paper reports that record levels of RSV, a common respiratory illness that particularly affects babies, is putting children's hospitals under unprecedented pressure, with almost 1,000 cases notified to authorities last week.
The front page of the Irish Independent goes with insurance price gouging despite collapsing claims. The paper writes that insurers have been accused of taking the public and politicians for a ride after it emerged that premium rates have started to creep up again despite a collapse in claims.
Over to the Irish Examiner, which goes with the headline, Domestic Violence Reports up 8% on 2022. It writes that 54,000 complaints have been made to date in 2023, with the figure coming as Gardaí warn of heightened fears of violence in some households as we approach Christmas.
On to the tabloids now. The Irish Daily Mail's its headline reads, Donnelly's management of his brief is exceptionally frustrating. The paper writes the Public Expenditure Minister, Paschal Donohoe, issued a scathing assessment of Health Minister Stephen Donnelly's management of his department, which he branded as being exceptionally frustrating.
On to the Irish Star now, which opens with, I must be on my way. The paper writes that Ireland will come to a standstill today as fans say one final farewell to Pogue's legend, Shane MacGowan.
The front page of the Irish Mirror leads with Legend's last trip to Tip. The paper reports that thousands are set to line the streets of Dublin as Shane MacGowan's cortege travelled through the city before heading to Neenah, County Tipperary, for the Star's funeral mass.
The Herald writes students beaten with vice grips in Lewis attack. The paper reports that a court heard yesterday of a teen gang who surrounded an Indian student as he was repeatedly kicked, punched and beaten over the head during a pile-in attack on a red Lewis tram last December.
And finally, the Irish Sun goes with the headline, McGregor's kick in the Áras. The paper states that no TD or senator is prepared to back UFC fighter Conor McGregor's bid to be the next president of Ireland.
Now, a little bit earlier on, we were talking about Christmas shopping and that it all happens in this month, and the 23rd is the biggest shopping day, and that women spend more on grocery and men spend more in the pubs. We won't get into that again because we all want to stay friends. We got a text in from Martin in Clondalkin who said, I worked in a butcher and one of our regulars was a Garda officer. One Christmas he came in and said he had a nice kiss for me just to say thanks for everything. It was a nice thought, which is why I could not believe it when he gave me a breathalyzer test.
Ooh, whoa.
Dodgy person.
Whoa, did he hand it across the counter and say blow into that?
A bit of a backhanded
Or was
present,
it
isn't
already used?
Oh, Martin.
Well, sorry, these are the thoughts that crossed my mind.
My friend's ex-husband got her, want you know those slender-toned bicycle shorts?
Yes.
That you put on to make yourself shrink?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
The vibrating ones?
No, basically it was an exercise machine. Do you know the slender-toned?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine getting
Wow.
that?
Imagine Christmas Day in that house.
I know.
Yeah, everything was fine.
No wonder they split up.
Oh, they did.
Ex-husband. You know, see the ex? You see
Yeah. That's what a bad Christmas present will get you. And we also asked people to send in pictures of their dogs and their Christmas outfits, and we got loads of them. We got loads. First, let's have a look at Teddy the dog, sent in from Nikita in County Wicklow. Look at him.
Oh, look. And, you know, if you think that's cute, we've double trouble next, because next we have Rascal and Bailey in their Christmas coats. That's sent in by Gail in
One of our
Dublin
first
5.
dogs in our house was Rascal.
Oh.
Great name for a dog, I think. Because this fella was a rascal. And looks like they are too.
Oh,
Keep sending them to us. We'd love to see more of them. OK, 0896 111 is our text or WhatsApp. Up next, Eurovision legend Linda Martin will be telling us all about swapping the glitz and glam for her canine pals. We'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back. Now, you'll know our next guest as the Irish Queen of Eurovision, but what you might not know is that she recently swapped the glam and the glitz of showbiz to open a fantastic dog shelter.
Linda joins us now to chat about her brand new podcast. They're Dog Almighty, and she's also brought along her partner in crime, Speedy. I'm
Full of
very
the
sorry
puns
about
today.
those puns. How are you today?
I'm good.
And this is Speedy.
Oh, that's Speedy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Speedy's a little bit puzzled by the whole thing, but she's fine.
Yeah.
She's fine. She's friendly and she's docile, and I knew she'd work well today.
Okay, and she's aptly dressed for Christmas.
She is. Look, do you see the Christmas out? Like myself.
Like yourself. I did notice you
what
have
about-
your
You're
doggy Christmas jumper on
Yeah,
today.
all the way from Tesco. Isn't that marvellous? I thought it was wonderful. I had to have my hands on that.
So tell us about the podcast.
All right. Well, Debbie O'Donnell, who you know very well.
know well, formerly of this parish, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. She approached me and she says, Linda, what do you think about doing it? Oh, I says, Debbie, podcasts aren't for me, forget about it. She says, no, a dog podcast. It's never been done before. We'll keep everything really lighthearted. We'll be highlighting all sorts of things connected with the dogs and the dog welfare, and we'll get celebrities to come in and talk about their dogs and bring their dogs with them. And that's exactly what's happened. So I'm sort of reeling between, well, you know what it's like coming up to Christmas. I'm working, I'm trying to do everything, and I'm doing the podcast as well. And it's been tremendous fun. Like, seriously, like Dermot Gavin's dog wouldn't stop humping my leg, for Jesus' sake. We spent about half an hour with the dog, and every time he pulled it that way, it came over. I says, will he ever get his nuts off, for Jesus? It goes in the head in. But it's just been great fun and very light-hearted.
Yeah. And, like, who else have you had on? Because it's like the great and the good of Irish society at this stage, because everybody loves dogs.
Absolutely. Well, Lenny Abramson came in, and Lenny's a friend of mine and a huge animal welfare person. He brought his 2 rescue greyhounds in.
And he's cats as well. I know he's a great cat lover too.
His sister's the big cat lady. And Charlie Bird came in with his wife and the dog. And we had Laser, one of the drug sniffers, it was a cadaver dog that was retiring. And it got a very, very special prize, a beautiful, beautiful black shepherd. And that was the last appearance on our podcast last week. Just beautiful. So there's been lots and lots of people in, with a lot of people lined up.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's good fun.
Yeah.
No, but we love dogs.
We do.
We love our dogs.
Yes, we do. It's gone from the days when a dog was just looking after the sheep.
Oh, my God. Is that
good, yes.
That's just your little violation by Dermot Gavin's dog that we just showed there.
Did it show it?
Yeah.
Look, there it is.
Is that again?
Is that a Maltese?
A little crossbreed.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. And him, of course, all he could do was laugh, but it was funny.
I know my cousin actually has a Labrador that does the exact same to me. It's very annoying. Anyway, moving on.
All right. And Jake Carter was on. I love the fact that
Yes,
Lenny...
Jake was on.
Yeah, Lenny has a dog called Jake and Jake has a dog called Lenny.
Yes, that's right. But he's just incredibly informative. You're talking about a person who's there getting the Oscar and doing all that sort of business.
Yeah.
And there he is, such a normal person, such a lovely person.
And we've all
he's
got
great.
dog stories. What's been your favourite dog story so far?
Oh, so far, whoa, now you've caught me there. I'm not really sure about that. But no, I tell you something. I think maybe Charlie Bird's dog caught me.
Yeah.
Because it's a sort of sanctuary for him. It calms everything down. Yeah. And the dog is very, very attached to him now. There's no question about that at all. Yeah. And I just liked seeing the interaction between him and the dog.
Yeah, there's
it was beautiful.
Isn't it?
It was really beautiful. Yeah.
Dogs just love you unconditionally, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
They really do.
Yep.
Whatever about
hate
anything
me.
else. No, in general, dogs love their owners. I mean, it's just it's a kind of a perfect love, as it were.
It really
Has there
is.
been any funny stories? Because the dogs do mad things. I know from having pets over the years.
They do. Through the years with the dogs, I've had dogs that have ate Game Boys, and I've had dogs that have done very peculiar things, but it varies from day to day. No, don't go down, Speedy. But no, not particularly funny. Now, I must be honest with you, but just light-hearted all the time. And as you say, unconditional love. If you want loyalty, get a dog.
Yeah. No, always there. The love is unending.
And who slept in your bed last night?
2 dogs. Yeah. Stan, we've 2 dogs now. I had 2 new ones.
He's a little fatigued today, God love
A
him.
little tired. We got about 45 minutes sleep because our 2 new dogs, Stan and Ollie.
Brilliant.
Because we're Laurel and Hardy fans, and the boys picked the names. Yes, they.
So they kept you awake last night,
kept us
and
awake.
rightly so.
Yeah. Speedy is one of how many dogs you have?
I've 13. At the moment, 13.
Your own personal dogs?
Yes, they're our own dogs. And they vary from Rottweilers down to little things like Speedy.
Yeah, and of course we're speaking a lot about Shane McGowan this morning, and he took a shine to one of the dogs in your...
Well, he really did, and I adored him. I thought he was a genius, a genius poet. I think that's the best way to put it. But I remember years ago, I had a stray dog I needed a home for. And I got in touch with Victoria and I said, look, would you two sit with a stray dog? Let me get the photographs into the media and hopefully I'll get it home. So I went across to where they were living at the time, which was over near Donnybrook, and we went in. Funny enough, I think it was a sort of a King Charles.
Yeah.
Well, the two of them were fabulous with the dog and wanted to keep it, but of course you couldn't because these two are all over the world, especially at that time. So that didn't work out, but they were so gracious and so kind. And I appreciated it very much because we got the media and the dog was rehomed.
Actually,
Do you have a bit of a...
Yeah, Jenny, and it was through Linda as well. You got Jenny to go and photograph Shane with the dog.
That's right.
And that was a number of years ago. So Jenny just brought our King Charles along. At that time, it was Charlie, who we sadly lost. Yeah, Shane wanted to keep Charlie.
Yes.
And it took a little bit of coaxing to get the dog back.
Absolutely.
Because
No, very
there was no way she
kind-hearted.
could go home without him.
Yeah. And of course, he's leaving us today completely.
Yeah. It's sadly missed, but you know what? He's left a great
Huge legacy.
catalogue of music for us to...
And as I was driving here today, Fairy Tale of New York was on radio.
Yeah.
And I was just listening. In particular today, I don't know why, but I paid attention to the backing, the instruments. And you know something? Smashing.
Oh,
Absolutely
great song.
beautiful.
Great song.
Beautiful.
Great song.
How is the dog sanctuary going, by the way?
Well, I'm open.
Yeah.
I opened up on the 24th of March this year. And it will be open and I will be taking stray dogs in. But not just yet, because I'm not foolish. I work with charities north, south, east and west, and I know how they struggle to get funding in. So I wasn't going down that route.
Yeah.
But I knew that Dublin needed a dog pound.
Yeah.
And I thought, now...
But so many of them have closed.
Yeah.
They can't stay.
Afford
We
it?
haven't got the funding. It's as simple as that, Martin, you know, and we are inundated with dogs. The stray dog situation and the unwanted dog situation in Ireland at the moment is atrocious.
People aren't getting the message, adopt, don't shop.
No, they
Simple
don't
as.
get the message. We have to keep this awareness. We have to get at the kids. We're no good talking to people, old grannies like me. You know, we need to get the young people to say, this is the wrong thing to do. You must adopt. Don't go to the puppy farmers. Don't do anything like that. You know, and it's just so important. So I'm open. I have a state-of-the-art facility which you could live in yourself. And hopefully, by the time we get over this particular Christmas holiday, I'll be taking in the stray dogs with a view to rehoming them now. And that's going to be my purpose. I've got people on board, really good staff, and I've got a couple of dog trainers as well who can deal with dogs with problems. I think that's the easiest way to put it. And if we can rectify those problems and match them up with the right owner, well, happy days.
OK, I need to ask you this because it is December the 8th. We're rolling towards Christmas. It's, 16 sleeps away, as Deric told us earlier. You've got to be doing Panto this year. Please say you are.
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, no, you're not.
Where are you?
I'm in Liberty Hall this year and with the evil mother in Rapunzel.
Right. Why did they keep casting you as the evil?
I don't know, you know, I'm not really sure, but it's a great role, I think, because you get more reaction from the kids.
Of course you do.
Yeah, and they're going to hate me. And Rapunzel herself is Anna Carney, and I've known Anna for a few years now, and she's beautiful, and she's tiny, and she's a dancer, singer, and of course they're all going to adore her. And there's me giving her grief, you know, so...
I want to know, did you look like this in Panto, though? Because I do believe...
Oh, right.
We have
do we really have to do this?
Do we have this? I wonder.
Oh, I know what they're going to do.
We dressed Martin up.
What is
it? We dressed him up beautifully once as Linda Martin King. It's his drag name. Look at him.
I remember seeing that, yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, Martin, it suits you, do you know that?
It suits me.
Look. Now, here, listen, I'm seeing a secret craving here.
Now. On that note,
you were too willing to get into that costume and makeup. But I do remember
but I
you
needed
did.
serious help with the heels. I couldn't walk.
They'd murder
Don't
you.
know how you girls wear them.
Look at Elaine's heels this morning.
They're very comfy.
Yeah.
Didn't knock a shake out even now.
Mine had a fire escape down the back of them.
Linda, thank you so much. And Speedy for joining us today. Now, to celebrate tomorrow's launch of the Dog Almighty podcast in association with Tesco Ireland, we want to see your Christmas dog photos. So do send in your dog's best Christmas outfit that slays the fashion game, and we'll show them at the end of the show.
Up next, we're learning how to garden this winter. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
You're very welcome back. Now, if you love gardening, then the winter months might not be your favourite, but there are ways to add a bit of colour during those grey, cloudy months.
So joining us now to demonstrate how you can garden this winter is gardener Niall McCauley. Good to see you, Niall.
Morning, how are you?
Okay. You see, normally I would think, you just leave the garden alone and come back to it in the spring.
Yeah, put it to bed and be done with it.
Yeah, but that's not the case.
No, some of the best gardening happens in the winter. Yeah, and it's not even big effort because everything grows really slowly, so you get the impact without the work.
Okay, so how can we do this and still be of benefit to wildlife, for pollinators, for birds?
That's the thing. There is such a wide array. If you go to the garden centre and have a look around, loads of things are really good for pollinators, really good for birds, because we're used to feeding birds in the winter, right? But we're not always thinking about pollinators. And actually, plenty of things still need that nectar source during the winter. And there's plenty of things that we can plant that they're going to love. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make containers that are going to look really festive, so they're going to look great outside your house during Christmas, but they're going to be really good for pollinators and birds.
Double whammy, love it.
Yeah.
Look, I do love it. Because, like, bees they hibernate, don't they?
Some bees do, and some bees don't.
Okay.
So, like bumblebees, pretty much hibernate. Some solitary bees hibernate. Some honeybees don't. They keep going all the way through the winter.
All right.
Yeah.
Know that.
See, they need a better PR agent. They really do.
They do a bit.
I need yours.
Misunderstood.
Completely misunderstood. The wasps are still, well, they're around all year round.
Okay, so let's start with the one that supports pollinators then. Who's doing this one?
That's you, Martin.
Right, get your gloves on there, Martin.
Because we're working today.
Exactly, I'm making you work.
Should have kept me mask from the
You
Art
should.
Riddler.
Yeah.
The gloves would have gone great
Look,
with
you need to
that.
protect those nails, those perfectly manicured nails.
Christmassy red gloves.
Okay, I do like this. I'm very impressed now.
Cool. So the first container is going to be like a snow theme, really white and lovely.
We've got a theme, I love it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So what do you suggest?
First plant that you've got there, that's just a standard heather. You're going to find that in any garden centre, right? We all know that.
Yeah.
Like, we're from Ireland, we know, like, a heather. But they're really good for pollinators. You see all those little flowers?
Yeah.
They're going to keep flowering all the way through the winter. And bees, pollinators love it.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, you've done this before, Martin, have you?
Well, just a little bit. You know, we've got what's like a Mediterranean garden.
Oh, right.
So we do a lot of planting.
Yeah.
But
cool.
In the flower beds. Sorry. We did say this was going to get messy.
If you're not getting messy and dirty when you're gardening, you're not doing it properly.
No.
So next up, this Christmas rose. It's a hellebore. Right?
Okay.
And look at that flower. You can tell that's going to be good for
beautiful.
pollinators.
It's like a hellebore.
A hellebore.
Is that a type of plant?
Yeah, that's these plants. So they come in white, they come in shades of pinks and purples.
Beautiful.
You'll find them everywhere at the moment because they're the Christmas rose. Now, do be careful where you're planting them because they are poisonous. So if you've got little hands that are going to, pick leaves off and stuff, just be careful. But you'll find them really easily.
Here?
They will. That's the best thing about a container. Pack stuff in nice and tight because it's going to make the container look really full and lovely. That's bang on. That's brilliant.
Are you sure?
Yeah, next thing we're going to pop in are two little things that aren't so much for pollinators, the ivy and the little grey thing.
Okay,
You'll find
this one?
Yeah, perfect. Do you see as soon as you put something like this in, it just lifts a pot, something that trails down the side. It looks brilliant.
Different layers. We're adding a bit of depth.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Now, we're not...
And then we don't want this just to be for Christmas. We want it to last.
Like a puppy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of things to add in. That's a little wallflower. That's going to come out in yellow.
That's a bit of you now, Martin. The complete wallflower.
Wallflower.
We call him.
I was the one at the disco, just standing by the wall.
Oh.
He's so shy.
Yeah.
You have to excuse him. He's very shy.
And then I'm going to give you these. Those are snowdrops.
Oh.
And actually, everybody knows snowdrops, but they are brilliant for pollinators. If you put them in now, come the end of January, they're going to be flowering, and that means that you're going to have a lovely winter pot all the way through the winter.
Florini schnackta, love them. Right, what am I doing? I'll get my gloves on.
You are doing berries for birds.
Gorgeous.
Right, so look at all kinds of different berries that you can get. Again, go to the garden centre. These are really easy to find. So first thing,
this one.
Check that out.
Right.
That's perfect for a container because they're nice and small and they sit nice and compact.
Can I get it out?
Yeah, give it. Squeeze the side of the pot and give it a. There you go.
There we go. Okay, Jesus.
Then,
look, I needed help.
Perfect.
Right, okay. Now I'm going to dig a little hole.
Yeah, and pop it
that
in.
right there.
Right.
Okay.
These are edible to birds,
Okay.
so they're going to appreciate that.
Gorgeous.
Right. It's Christmas, so let's pop in something that looks like
Oh,
a Christmas tree.
a little mini tree.
Yeah,
Love that. Okay.
pop that in.
Absolutely. I'll pop that in over this
So this is
side.
your traditional Christmas look, right?
It is.
Now,
We're doing
everybody,
really well here.
everybody tries to get holly for Christmas, and you don't always get berries. Try this. This is a skimmia. It's called skimmia.
And sorry, it's the perfect Christmas colours. It's like it new, you know, it's on brand.
Isn't it epic, right?
Yes.
But here's the thing. Not all birds eat skimmia. They're not that popular.
Okay.
But that's why it makes it good for this container, because you don't want to plant a container and have it just stripped by the birds, and then it looks...
Especially before Christmas Day. People
exactly.
can't
I'm really struggling with this one now.
And,
Do you want to
your
yes,
Christmas,
help.
Your Christmas planter pot looks a bit
look at that.
scabby because all the berries are gone.
Exactly.
Yes.
And they don't like these berries.
They don't like them so
They're
much.
an acquired taste, are they?
Yep.
They don't like them. They should acquire
So
some
this
taste.
is the Brussels sprout for the birds.
Exactly.
Oh,
I love
very
it.
good, Martin.
I
There we
love
go.
it.
Okay.
Right? So that's your typical one. Now, what I would do with that is I would finish it off with a couple of things. Get yourself just a spike or something like this.
Right.
Pop it into the pot
Right.
and pop a little small bird feeder on it. And then that way it gives it a little bit more longevity.
You need to push it down.
There you go.
And a little bird feeder for them to eat off as well.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
And a little dish of water so that they
Just
can
to
drink
keep it.
and bathe.
I love it. We've been educated.
We absolutely have. The birds are fed and watered. The bees are fed and watered. You did the birds and the bees. Thank you so much.
And it's all done
Did.
for Christmas. And I have to finally ask you, how many times a day you told you look like David Tennant?
About 20. It's going to be 21
that's just
today.
This morning. That's just this
Everybody says it.
Thank you so much,
All
Noel.
right,
Great
to
to
see
have
you,
you in.
Okay.
Now, for more gardening tips and tricks, head on over to Niall's YouTube channel at Niall Gardens.
OK, after the break, a hearty breakfast perfect for all the family on December 25th. We'll see you soon. It's all done in one pot, too.
You're very welcome back. The most indulgent food day of the year is coming up, so not content with a feed of turkey and ham, most of us opt for a hearty brekkie.
Daniel Lambert joins us this morning and he's making the perfect breakfast for all the family to share on a Christmas morning. What is this perfect Christmas breakfast, Daniel?
We are making a lovely Christmas breakfast skillet with cost cutter today. So yeah, we're going to start off by basically sweating off some potatoes, onions, eggs, and some rashers of bacon.
Okay, excellent. And what's the trick to getting the potatoes to like stay in their cubes and not fall into mush?
So what you want to do is,
Like
so
before.
yeah, so basically you can see I've actually pre-sealed mine. So we have lovely Griffin potatoes today. So basically what you do is you cut them up not too small. You can see the way they kind of have a little bit of starch on the outside of them. You want that because that's going to crisp up really, really nicely for us in our pan.
So you don't wash them or anything like that, you just like chop
No,
them?
straight
Any
in.
particular potatoes?
I'm using Griffin potatoes today. I also like to use, Roosters or Mars Pipers or whatever ones you want. But yeah, Griffin potatoes are pretty good.
Boil them first.
No, so that's the trick. So when you're making skillets, you don't actually boil them.
That's what I'm doing wrong then, is
You
it?
basically, what you do is you just cut them up to, small little cubes, and you cook them on a high heat. And what happens is they crisp up. If you boil them beforehand, that small, they'll go to mush.
Yeah.
Which is okay if you're making little kind of potato
Mashed
snacks.
potato job.
Mashed potato job,
This is not what we're looking at today.
You don't want that. So what we do is we're sweating off our onions and our peppers here, okay? So what we're going to do now is add in our spuds.
And sorry, how beautifully, tinily cut are all his peppers and onions.
I'd end up chopping my fingers off.
You
if I
must
tried
have a
to
lot
do
of
that.
patience, Daniel.
Well, yeah, I mean, years of practice. I like it. So yeah, what we're going to do is now. Sometimes I actually like to cook my spuds in vegetable stock, but because we're making a skillet today, we're not actually going to do that.
Yeah, so this is kind of like your traditional Christmas fry with a twist as well, and making it a little easier, having it in the full pan as well.
Pretty much. So you can pretty much put this on the table on Christmas morning. Everyone likes to be real relaxed. You know what I mean? Christmas is a day of relaxation.
Yeah.
You do the cooking the night before.
Yeah.
Everything goes in the oven then that morning.
Happy
So you
days,
leave this, if people are coming out of the kitchen, they're hungry, they want to relax, you just basically leave the skillet in the middle of the kitchen. Everyone comes along and takes their own. Now, obviously, you will have vegetarian as well, so I actually have a lovely kind of vegetarian surprise with this dish as well in the oven at the moment.
Oh, he's very good to me.
Fabulous.
He's
There you
very
go
good
now.
to me. Thank
We
you,
have to-
Daniel.
we have to
No
look after.
sausages for you this morning,
No.
We have to look after. So, yeah, basically, once that gets nice and sweated off, now, sweat these off beforehand, usually take about 6 to 7 minutes.
Yeah.
They do take quite a long time, the spuds. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to add in our lovely Denny rashers and sausages. So I've just pre-cooked these off. Now, I've actually cooked them in the bacon fat that I've already cooked these in. So you're getting extra flavour. Now, basically, if you don't want to do that, you use a separate pan and you add in your bacon and stuff like that afterwards. So we're just going to slice these up just into little kind of cylinders like this here.
I love that, like you said, it's an easy dish, and also like people can serve themselves. You don't even have to do all that. You just let them do it themselves, you know?
That's the beauty of it.
I never bother with breakfast and Christmas Day because I need to have room for my dinner.
But I feel like there's extra room on Christmas Day. You find the room on Christmas Day.
Oh no, I need dinner room. I really do. You wouldn't think it to look at me now, but I do skip breakfast on Christmas Day. But you know what? I might be tempted to change my mind
After
on this.
this, absolutely.
So we're just going to toss them up around like that.
So the portions you have here, how many would that serve on Christmas Day?
That's, well, probably just myself, to be honest. But,
Martin King had his eye on that earlier on. He was keeping it all for himself.
So, but realistically, 30 centimetre pan, you're talking, 4 to 5 people portion-wise.
Okay.
Or if you're hungry, you can just take it into the back room and just kind of sit down and watch the TV.
Yeah. And you're adding rashers and sausages, but could you add other components of a fry as well?
Oh, definitely. So basically, like whatever I'm cooking the night before, now you can really you can get as crazy as you want with this now, within reason. But if you're cooking, if you've leftover Christmas dinner as well, the next morning you can actually put turkey, ham in this as well.
Ooh.
A little bit of stuffing with the spuds, a little bit of stuffing with the potatoes, fry it off, and you can put it.
You can throw anything into it.
Absolutely. Well, don't be
So are we keeping all Irish ingredients here then?
all Irish, yeah.
Yeah.
All Irish. I like the shop logo.
Yeah.
So there we have it. That's basically what you're looking for there.
Is that finished now?
Nearly. What we're going to do is we're going to add in our lovely Riverview eggs now. So what we do is we just make a little indent in the pan like this. All right.
Okay, you're making your little holes for your eggs.
Yeah, pretty much. Just do little indents like that.
Yeah.
We're going to turn the heat down.
Is it important that the eggs are touching the bottom of the pan so they okay.
Basically, yeah, because it helps them cook. Now, when you're using skillets or kind of saute pans, you have a lid with them. A lot of them that you buy in the shops, they have a lid, so you put the lid on.
Yeah, and that'll help.
So what I'll do is I'll just
then.
crack 2 eggs in here. Now, notice I did turn the heat down there.
Yeah.
You don't want to be blasting this. It's a real kind of a low
What
and slow.
happens if the heat is up too high?
It gets really crispy and your eggs will be like
chewy.
Crisps. Yeah,
Oh, God, that's not good.
Okay.
So once the eggs are in the pan like that, actually, do you know what? We'll add in another one.
Go on.
Why not? Usually the way I do it is it's an egg per person,
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
or else there'll be fights.
That's it. A little bit of salt and
On
pepper.
Christmas morning.
Seasoning
A little bit of salt and pepper. No, not too much salt because the bacon is a little bit salty. We're going to add some lovely charlotte cheddar.
Yum. Cheese. God, this is
Loads of cheese on there.
indulgent.
Just, you know what?
So everything on Christmas
We'll
Day
put
is
it all in
calorie
because
free.
it's-
Bung it all in,
God,
we're
nothing
grand.
It's all good.
Nothing counts.
All right. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to let that cook like this for about 5 to 6 minutes on a low heat. And this is exactly what you get.
So that's it. So, and can you cook it in the oven as well?
You can,
if
yeah.
you want to,
You
like
can,
keep
yeah.
it. Would you put if you wanted to keep it warm for the morning? Would you just put it on a very low heat, or would you cover it, or could you do something like
I
that?
actually have the lovely Biko oven here. I have it on 100 degrees. So
Yeah.
basically that hot holds the food.
Without making it too.
Exactly.
Because sometimes, if you have cooked breakfast, it goes kind of very dry, but that wouldn't happen really.
It does, yeah. So yeah, just keep it at about 100 degrees. Food needs to be above 75 before you serve
Right,
it.
we better give it a bit of a taste.
Yeah,
so
do you
So what we're going to do is
that
these
too
are
hot?
little vegetarian ones I made earlier.
You go for that one.
So
Oh,
this is for you.
fabulous.
So they're
Amazing.
very, very hot.
Oh, sorry. I
You're
will.
okay.
There you go, honey.
Thank you.
And I will get one of my little veggie pots.
So that's pretty much them. They're like little muffins, and you can basically
Sorry.
put whatever you want in them.
That looks gorgeous.
Oh, this is very Moorish.
Is it?
And if you want, now I like to
And
be...
you have your vegetables as well, which is, it's not too bad.
If you want, you can add a little bit of thyme in there as well. I've actually added thyme to the potatoes already, and it just gives it that extra...
Who's stealing me food?
Delicious.
On the taste there, Martin.
So much, Daniel.
No problem. All the
Here.
ingredients, they're available at your local cost cutter, so...
There you go.
Brilliant dish for this Christmas.
Oh, absolutely lovely. Now, full recipe details are up on our website. That's virginmediatelevision.ie/Ireland AM.
Coming up on Ireland AM tomorrow, their satire is so believable that even international media outlets have reported their fake stories. We'll be chatting to the man behind Waterford Whisper News.
We'll meet some of the team behind Ireland's first satellite, which was launched into orbit last week.
And we live in a digital age, but how can we ensure our little people don't overdo it on screen time during the Christmas holidays? We'll have expert advice.
All that plus mince pies in the kitchen. Yes! She's not too.
Do you like mince pies?
I love mince pies.
Totally much.
We'll have festive stalls on the catwalk as well. We're back tomorrow from 9. Right.
Now, to celebrate tomorrow's launch of the Dog Almighty podcast in association with the Tesco Ireland, we wanted you to send in your Christmas dog photos this morning, and you did not disappoint.
Here's a photo of the adorable Roo sent in by Katie. Oh my God, is Santa riding on his back?
OK, up next, we were sent in this photo of Odie in Marnock, who was apparently auditioning for Joseph in the Nativity. Give him the part. Thanks to Susan for sending that in.
Odie's the name of my nephew, actually. And we've gotten this photo of Jill, who enjoys the finer things in life, sent in by Mary in County Laois.
No.
Oh, look at that. Table better set for the dog than for me.
Listen,
Absolutely
we've enjoyed looking
gorgeous,
at
very
those this
cute.
morning.
Yeah.
Right, we will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Take care.
9 o'clock tomorrow.
Well, we'll still be here. It's still, what time is it now?
Well, should we still be eating
We'll
this?
still be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow, so yeah.
Look after
There you go.
yourselves.
Bye.
Till then, bye-bye. Get your decorations up now. Go on.